Joining us now, Luc Robitaille, LA Kings President, who his career crossed paths with Kobe Bryant, both playing out of the Staples Center, and obviously having a chance to meet him and be in the LA vicinity now. So, Luc, thanks so much for taking the time. How are you doing and digesting this information?
I'm doing okay, thank you. I mean, it's been hard for everyone in Los Angeles. I mean, Kobe was obviously a very special athlete, but what he meant to the city and to everyone here, it's like everyone knows, LA is a big, big city. It's very rare that an athlete means that much, you know, and it was above the game that he played and above the team and what he's meant to the city. And you know, him and guys like Magic Johnson, obviously Wayne, are above the sport that they played. And so when things like this happen, it's devastating.
Luc, you bore witness to a lot of greatness in your career. And, you know, you talk about a huge market like L.A., you know, and as you played in L.A. and grew up in L.A., you know, what was it like, you know, bearing witness to these great athletes, and obviously you knew them quite well?
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely amazing. You know, like I was around when Magic was playing and Kareem, and then Kobe and Shaq. And the Lakers have always had this special aura that even though there's this really big franchise, it feels like it's a family over there. Sometimes they argue, sometimes they get along and they find a way, but it really does feel like it's a family, that when you play for them or you're part of their organization, it's very special. And, you know, I talked to one of the guys that runs the franchise, and they lost a family member. They're devastated. They don't even know how to react. I mean, they've gone quiet because of how they lost a family member, and it is devastating. And, you know, like, but certainly for us to see him around the city and to get to meet him off the field was very, very special.
Luc Robitaille, LA Kings President, joining us. You know, we saw images yesterday right away outside the Staples Center of people putting up images and, you know, candles and flowers, thousands of people outside. What's the scene today?
You know, to tell you the truth, I haven't really watched the news this morning, but I know last night they were unloading the Grammy Awards. So today there will be more freedom to walk around Staples Center. There's not as many events around Staples Center, so I expect that there will be a lot more being done around Staples Center today. A lot more people will be there. I mean, he's definitely, you know, like I said, it was Magic. You know, there's Wayne in L.A. that meant a lot, and Kobe has been so special to the entire community, where whether you live in East L.A. or Beverly Hills or Santa Monica, he's one of those very few athletes that seem to touch everyone. So I expect a lot will be done today.
You know, Luc, and, you know, reading some of the comments we heard from Jake Muzzin, who's now with the Leafs, Anze Kopitar, what kind of influence did he have on your players with the LA Kings that won those 2 Stanley Cups? Because he would have been right in the middle of his career at that point in time.
Well, you know, we all knew, like, Kobe as an athlete was one of the most demanding athletes on himself and his team. Like, he expected the best every day, whether it was practice or preparation for the game and so forth. So for us as an organization, when he started coming and taking his daughters to see our games, I mean, our guys kind of felt like, you know, you're doing something special when a guy who's willing to give whatever it takes to help his team win respects your team enough that he wants to be part of it. And I think that's why it had a big influence on our young guys at the time.
Luc Robitaille joining us. Do you have any stories of your interactions with Kobe?
You know, for me, like, you know, like over the years, my wife and I have a foundation. He's done a lot of work. So he was always the guy we would call, obviously, to get, like, you know, jerseys, signing balls, and he was always around. It's one of those person that I respected tremendously. I think the biggest thing for me is when he started coming around, like I said, and he respected the work ethic and the way our team played, because he understood that. So it was kind of fun that we got to talk a little bit about it, and that certainly as something that transcended. And it was kind of funny because it happened right before we won in 2012, and then we went to the next level. So, that would be my best story. As far as a person, what I respect the most about Kobe is, like, he was very demanding on himself while he was a player, but once his career was over, he spent all that energy, it seems like, on his family. Spent a tremendous amount of time with his daughters, his wife, and he never missed their games and so forth. And that, to me, that's what I respect the most, is what he found a way to make it like about his family, and that just shows the kind of person he was.
Did he ever try to go on the ice and try his luck at hockey?
No. He's never mentioned that once. Shaq used to say he wanted to come on the ice, but Kobe was smart enough to say, no, I'm never trying that.
Yeah.
Well, Shaq, I think I heard that Shaq wanted to desperately get on the ice, but they couldn't, make a skate big enough. But I think it was also the club, like, saying, just tell him you can't get him skates, because if he goes on the ice and falls, it's an absolute disaster. So no, Kobe never expressed wanting to go out on the ice like Shaq.
Never expressed it like Shaq. I think Shaq would have cracked the ice if he would have fallen, too.
That is so true. Luc, I mean, I know this is obviously a very difficult time for people who knew him, had interactions with him, especially in the LA area. And I know it hits home, to the sports community. And I know we always say, the basketball community is mourning. And of course it is. But having you on here, someone part of hockey, it just shows how much he transcended that. I know a lot of people in the soccer community are very shaken up, by all of this. And it seems like the human element, right? For you to talk about him being a dad, and a husband, I think that's what's so important to remember.
Yeah, he transcended. I mean, he there's so much influence he had in this community. Like, if you threw an event and you knew Kobe was going, it was like a big event. It became a big event, and he was aware of it, and he was able to make a difference in this city. And I think that's what people understand. I mean, obviously, winning all the championships and being one of the greatest players since Michael Jordan, and so forth, it's huge. But it's what he did off the field that I think that takes it to another level.
Mm-hmm. Luc, we really appreciate you taking the time.
Okay, well, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Luc.